Okay, so we've all been there, right? You're trying to break some bad habit, you're pushing against it with everything you've got, all your willpower, and you just end up right back where you started. It's so frustrating. But what if I told you that the reason we fail is because we're fighting in the first place?
Yeah, this is a really powerful idea. And honestly, it's kind of backwards from what we're usually told, right? The whole concept is that when you try to fight a habit, like really wrestle it to the ground, you're actually just feeding it. You're giving it more power over you, not less. So, the big question is, why? Why does fighting backfire like that? I mean, it goes against everything we've been taught about willpower and grit. Well, the answer isn't about having weak character or anything like that. It's actually all about how our brains are wired for survival.
And this whole thing brings us to something we can call the habit paradox. It's pretty much the core reason why so many of our best intentions just fall flat.
Okay, so here's the deal. Your brain has this built-in defense system, right? And when you try to make a huge, drastic change, like quitting something cold turkey, your brain basically freaks out. It flags that change as a threat to its routine, and it pushes back hard with cravings, resistance, you name it. And listen, this isn't a character flaw. It's not you being weak. It's literally just your brain running its default safety program.
So let's dig into this a little deeper. What is actually going on inside your head? The best way to think about it is like an internal alarm system. One that's designed to keep you safe and sound by just sticking to what's familiar. And this really lays it all out, side by side. You've got the cold turkey method over here. It's big, it's aggressive, and it basically sets off that brain alarm every single time. And what do you get? Resistance and fear. But then look at the other side, the small changes method. It's so subtle, it's so gentle, that it flies right under the radar. It bypasses the alarm completely. And that's what leads to calm, consistent, and, most importantly, sustainable change.
All right, so if trying to break down the door just sets off all the alarms, we obviously need a smarter way in. We need the key, not a battering ram. And that brings us to this really elegant solution, a concept from Japan called Kaizen.
So, what is Kaizen? Well, the word literally just means good change, and the whole idea is about continuous improvement. But, and this is the key part, through tiny incremental steps. We're not talking about a massive life-altering overhaul. We're talking about making changes so small, so insignificant seeming, that your brain's alarm system doesn't even notice. You're not fighting anymore, you're just gently rewiring.
And really, it all boils down to this one simple number, 1%. That's it. Forget about perfection. Forget about fixing everything by tomorrow. Just aim to be 1% better. Think about how manageable that is. It's completely non-threatening to your brain. But that tiny little change, when you do it day after day, man, it becomes unbelievably powerful as it starts to compound over time. Okay, so that's the theory, which is great. But how do we actually do this? Like in real life? Let's break down a super simple blueprint you can use. Look how simple this is. Let's say you want to spend less time on social media. The old way would be to delete all your apps, right? The Kaizen way? Just cut back by 5 minutes today. That's it. Or maybe you're craving junk food. Instead of forbidding it forever, which is a huge red flag for your brain, just make a tiny deal with yourself. I'll wait 24 hours. See? These steps are so small, so reasonable, that your brain has absolutely no reason to sound the alarm and fight back. And what this all leads to, really, is a fundamental shift in how we think about change. It's about moving away from this idea of conflict, of fighting ourselves, and moving towards an approach of, well, gentle, consistent guidance. So the big takeaway here is to stop seeing this as some epic battle against your own brain. You're not enemies, you're on the same team. Think of yourself less like a warrior and more like a patient programmer. You're just gently feeding your brain new instructions, one tiny little line of code at a time, until eventually a whole new, better program starts to run on its own, automatically. So I'm going to leave you with this question. Forget about the huge, monumental task of breaking a habit forever. That's way too intimidating. Just focus on right now, today. What is one tiny, almost laughably small 1% change you can make? Because that right there is where real, lasting change always begins.